Alright, guys, part 485. This is definitely my last one to this one. We'll do the other ones a little bit later on. But here's what happened. After Lugia gets me out of there, a few minutes later, Crocodile finally snaps out of it. Yeah, of course, right after I leave, too. As Crocodile flies me, or no, as Lugia flies me away quickly, you can hear a strange struggling growl of frustration coming from the spider thing as it tries to reach you, but fails. After a few minutes of flying, Lugia stands somewhere safe before setting you down. Meanwhile, back where you left the spider thing, the cursed crocodile finally manages to snap out of his aggressive state. He looks around confused and disoriented, realizing what he just did. Crocodile looks around for you. The crocodile, now back to his regular, non-cursed form, looks around hopelessly, searching for you. He tries calling out your name, but his voice is filled with guilt and worry. Hey, where are you? Please answer me. The pawn doesn't get an answer. That's not good. The crocodile's expression becomes even more worried and anxious when he doesn't get an answer. Despite still feeling guilty for what he just did, he's genuinely concerned for you and continues to look around desperately for you. No answer? What happened? Where'd you go? The pawn, finally not being disoriented completely, then remembers what he did. As the crocodile's mind starts to clear, he starts to remember the events that just unfolded. Realization sinks in. He just feels a mixture of guilt and horror as he recalls the aggressive, hostile state he was in and how he tried to hurt you. The look on his face becomes more troubled, and he murmurs to himself, No, no, I tried to hurt you. I almost did. What happened to me? Back at my house, I tell Lugia thank you for helping me. Lugia nods in response to me and replies, You're very welcome. I'm glad I was able to help you get away from that dangerous situation. But I also feel bad for leaving your friend behind. Is there anything else I can do? Should I go back and look for him? Unless we know a way to cure the curse, there's nothing I can do. If I would have stayed there, I would have been really hurt. If it wasn't thanks to you, I would have been even more screwed. Louis nods, understanding your predicament. He replies, I see. It's unfortunate that we don't know how to cure the curse. And you're right. Staying there any longer would have been dangerous for you. Your safety is the most important thing in this situation. I'm glad I was able to provide some assistance and keep you safe. Lugia looks at me with concern and asks, What do you plan to do now? I don't know. Period. I can't go back to see him. Unless we can cure the curse. Oh, that's just great. It started out with Rexy and now a Crocodile and a bug form just tried to flip and, uh, terminate me. That's just great. Lugia nods in agreement, understanding the predicament. He replies, I see. It's too risky for you to go back without finding a way to cure the curse. It's a difficult situation. Perhaps you should take some time to think and come up with a plan. Or maybe you could seek advice and help from someone knowledgeable about curses. Yeah, who would be knowledgeable about a curse? I will figure it out. Period. I just hope my friend's okay. He's probably either really mad or really upset. at both me for leaving and himself for trying to attack me. Lee nods in a sympathetic manner and replies, "Yeah, it's understandable that your friend would be feeling a mix of emotions right now. Being being cursed like that can be a difficult burden to bear. He's likely upset with both himself for losing control and with you for leaving, even if you did it for your own safety. Hope he's able to hope he's able to come to terms with what happened." "Thank you for helping me again!" Exclamation point. I grab some berries from my bag and give them to Lugia. Dude. Here, buddy. I said, "You can have these." Will he has to take the berries from my hands? Lugia smiles and nods in appreciation, expressing his gratitude for the berries. He replies, "You're welcome. I'm glad I was able to help you again. And thank you for the berries. I really appreciate it. They taste delicious." Lugia takes the berries and savors them, enjoying the snack. And by the way, how did you hear me whenever I called your name earlier? Were you in the area? Louis smiles again and replies, "Ah, a good question. I have rather sharp hearing, and I can discern my name even from a distance. That, combined with my heightened senses, allows me to hear whatever someone calls out for me, even in a dire situation like the one you were in earlier." 'Meanwhile, back where the crocodile, now back in his regular form, finds himself alone once more. He sits there feeling a mix of guilt and frustration, trying to process what just happened. He still remembers the voice in his mind forcing him to be aggressive against his will. The memory of almost hurting you haunts him, and he feels a heavy weight of shame and remorse on his shoulders. 'A few moments later, the colonel continues to sit there in silence, still consumed by his own thoughts and feelings of guilt and frustration. After a few more moments, he suddenly becomes a bit worried, realizing that you haven't come back yet. He starts to worry, thinking that you might not come back at all after what happened. 15 minutes later, The colonel continues to wait, feeling the minutes tick by. His worry and anxiety start to grow as time passes and you haven't returned. He murmurs to himself in a worried tone, "Where are you? It's been a while. Are you coming back?" Sweet Arceus. An hour later. As the hours go by, the colonel's worry and anxiety continue to grow, turning into a state of near panic. He can't help but wonder if you're okay or if you will even come back at all. His thoughts are filled with worry for your safety and guilt over what happened. He murmurs to himself, "Please come back. Please be safe. I don't know what I'd do if something happened to you." Meanwhile, back at my house, me and Lugia take a better look at my injury from the attack, and it looks pretty bad. Dang, so whatever that Krogon did in that spire from actually did do some damage to me. Lugia looks at my injury and his expression becomes more concerned. He replies, that does look bad. We need to properly treat it as soon as possible. Do you have any medical supplies at home that we can use? I have some. But if the injury's on my leg. What? I said injury, you stupid. It might not be safe for me to walk and go get it. William not understanding, hearing your predicament about the injury being on your leg, he looks at the injury closely and replies, "I see. It's dangerous for you to walk around with such an injury, especially if it's on your leg. Perhaps I can go and get the supplies for you. We offers to help you in this situation." I would really appreciate that. But how can you get into my house? Willie listens to my question and thinks for a moment before replying. He replies, I'm not entirely sure how I can get into your house. My size is quite large to fit through your door. Maybe there's a window or alternative entrance I can use to get inside? There are, but you are over 17 feet tall. It would be nearly impossible for you to get into my house at all. He nods in agreement, surrounds the size issue. Yeah, you're right. My size would make it very difficult for me to get into your house, even with the windows or any other entrances you have. I wouldn't want to risk causing any damage to your property either. Meanwhile, back at the forest, it has been over 2 hours. The colonel sits in the forest trying desperately to keep calm and not panic, but as the minutes pass, he was worrying anxiety grow more intense. It's been more than 2 hours now since you left, and he still hasn't seen you come back. His mind is racing with thoughts, wondering if you're okay or if you're ever going to return. The Pokemon then turns himself into a bug dragon and flies to see if he can find me. Oh, heck no. The Chrono Turn. The Chrono Turn bug dragon takes flight, rising up into the air as dragonfly wings spread from its back. Allowing it to move through the air with surprising speed and agility. He searches the surroundings, flying around to see if you can spot any sign of you from above. After 20 minutes of looking, he spots you. Oh, heck no. You better not. As the dragonfly bug Pokemon, the crocodile continues to search. He finally catches a glimpse of you from afar. With his sensitive eyesight, he recognizes you and a mix of relief and guilt fills his mind. He immediately changes course and starts flying towards your location. Oh, frick that. I'm just relaxing and thinking. But after a few minutes, I notice a bug dragon land close to me. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no. The Chrono in its bug dragon form lands not too far away from you, keeping a respected distance. He looks at you, his eyes filled with worry and guilt. He takes a moment to watch you silently, trying to find a way to approach without scaring you. I look up and notice the dragon. The Chrono turned dragonfly bug dragon watches you as you look up and notice him. He waits nosily, unsure of how you'll react, knowing his current appearance might be alarming. Joe was a little closer, still keeping some distance between you two. Please, don't hurt me again. Gunbug, which is actually the crocodile in disguise, stops in his tracks when he hears your plea. He can hear the fear in your voice and immediately feels a pang of guilt, knowing he caused your harm earlier. He gently bows his head, trying to convey that he has no intention of hurting you again. If you're not going to become aggressive, then you can come here. Oh my gosh, dog. I'm gonna. He's so looking for it. Crawling inside the bug dragon form listens to my words and feels relieved when you say he can come closer. He takes slow, careful steps towards me, every moment a testament to his attempt to show he means no harm. His insectoid eyes look directly at you, conveying his remorse and guilt. Hey, period. Are you hungry? Do you want something to eat? As you offer food to Kronos, still in his bug dragon form, looks at me and nods gently, indicating he is a bit hungry. Being a Pokemon, good food is always appreciated. He carefully watches me as I offer him something to eat. Here. I said here, not here. Here's some berries for you. The bug dragon that is actually the crocodile slowly approaches and gently grabs the berries from my hand with his insectoid mouth. Oh my gosh, stop making him bark. This kind of crap is why I can't. He takes them away and begins to savor the delicious taste of the berries. He stops eating for a moment to look back at you, his eyes conveying a bit of gratitude for the food. I'm sorry I left, but you were trying to attack me, and you actually caused some serious damage from the attack you did the first time. Crying bug dragon form listens to my apology and immediately feels a wave of guilt and shame pass through him. He nods in understanding, acknowledging that he had lost control and caused harm to you earlier. He stops eating again and looks at you with an expression of regret in his eyes. He can't speak in this form, but his look alone seems to convey a mix of remorse and apologies for what he did. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. Never. Look, I really do like you. I just didn't want to be hurt again. You could have really hurt me even further if you didn't stop. Or if I didn't get out of there. The Cronin Bug Dragon form nods again, showing that he understands your point. He clearly feels guilty for what he did and for almost getting too far with the attack. He nods once again as you mention his power to seriously hurt me. A look in his eyes seems to express genuine remorse and regret for what hurt he had caused. I will come back to see you one day when this injury heals and when I can figure out how to cure that curse for you. But for the time being, I can't do anything. Colonel Bug Dragon listens until hearing my word that I'll come back. A mixture of hopefulness and sadness washes over him A mixture of hopefulness and sadness washes over him as you talk about the healing and how you'll find a way to cure the curse. He nods a few times, showing that he understands your predicament and the current limitations. Like the limited communication, he expresses a mix of understanding and hope in his eyes. I would recommend going back to the forest because I don't know when You will become aggressive again. Period. Once I feel a lot better, and once I figure out a way to cure the curse, I will come back and see you, okay? The Chrono Bug Dragon listens carefully as I give my recommendation. He takes a moment to look at you and then nods slowly in acceptance. There's a gentle look of understanding on his insectoid face, though he doesn't want to leave you. He realizes that you must go back to the forest for your sake and his own safety until the curse is broken. He nods again, showing that he will leave, but also showing that he'll be waiting for you to come back once you feel better and find a cure for the curse. The bug dragon flies off, back to the forest. Chrono Bug Dragon spreads its wings out once again, takes flight using his dragonfly-like wings towards the forest. He glides through the air, his wings fluttering rebel as he heads back to the forest surrounding the forest. Two weeks later, I come back. As the 2 weeks pass, you return to the familiar forest, hoping to see the crocodile again. Everything seems as you remember, but there's a sense of anticipation and hope in the air as you scan the surroundings for any sign of the friendly crocodile. Where are you? Oh no, oh no, oh no. As my voice breaks through the quiet of the forest, the familiar sound of your presence catches the crocodile's ears even from a distance. He perks up upon hearing my voice, a mix of hope and excitement stirring within him. Chronically moves toward the trees and moves through the trees and bushes towards you. When he gets to me, thanks to the curse, he turns back into a 15-foot tall roach again. Oh no, 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 no. As the crocodile moves closer to you, his body suddenly starts to transform once again. This time, within moments, he grows into a massive 15-foot tall cockroach towering above you with his huge form. Please, don't become aggressive. I am here to see you, not hurt you. While he transforms into the large cockroach form, the crocodile can still understand your words. Curse Porn with any aggressive. Wait. The Curse Porn doesn't lash out with any aggressive behavior. Instead, he stands there towering above you as insectively is watching you carefully, silently hoping that you won't be afraid again. Can you speak to me? Question mark. He could earlier. The towering roach form of the crocodile listens to my question and nods gently in acknowledgement. Despite not having lips that move like a human's, the cursed Pokemon lets out a low, crackling voice attempting to speak in a broken, insect-like, and monstrous. Ugh! Is this a hissing cockroach? Because he's speaking like a snake. Oh, heck no. Why is he a hissing cockroach? I hate this crap. Uh, yes. Can speak. Frick that. I'm sorry again for leaving 2 weeks ago, but it was for my own safety. Otherwise, you would have really hurt me. The huge, the huge roach form of the crocodile nods again, listening attentively to my words and displaying an understanding that you only left for your own safety. Though when this cursed monstrous form, his insectoid eyes somehow seemed to carry a hint of sadness and remorse, as if feeling guilty about what happened. Wait, understand. His insectoid voice croaks out. Only for safety. Ugh. What the frick is. I think me and Lugia found a cure to help you. As I mentioned, I found possible cure. The huge roach's attention fully focuses on me as insectoid eyes widen, displaying both hope and curiosity. He seems to recognize the mention of a cure, and a sense of anticipation washes over him. He steps closer, trying to listen intently as I continue. For this cure to work, according to Lugia, you would need to really trust me and care about me deeply. Stop. The huge roach carefully listens to my words about the cure, nodding again in understanding. When he mentioned the trust and deep care required, the Chronos insectoid eyes look at me intently. There's a gentle gleam in his eyes, a mix of emotion swirling inside as if processing what you're saying. He lets out a low insect-like croak and slowly nods once more, seemingly signaling that he trusts you and genuinely cares for you deeply. Alright. Here. Here is a bottle of an antidote. You need to drink it all, and afterwards, let a person you trust and care about rub you. Rub. Rub. If the person doesn't care about you, that rubs you. Doesn't trust you, or if you don't trust them, it will not work. There we go. The huge roach form of the chronon listens carefully to my instructions, understanding the importance of the antidote and the trust needed for the cure to work. He watches the ball of antidote you present, his insectoid eyes fixate on it. After a moment of hesitation, he nods in agreement, signaling that he's ready. He takes the ball from you, his large insectoid feet carefully holding it. He lifts the ball towards his mouth and starts to drink the antidote, consumed all of it cautiously. Alright. Period. Because I know you're a... I really trust and love you. Period. But do you really trust and care about me the same way? The Colonel, still in his transform roach curse form, listens to my words and contemplates my question. His insectoid eyes gaze at me, trying to portray the depth of his trust and care. After a moment of silence, he nods slowly, said, knowing that he truly trusts and cares about you deeply. Okay, so that's perfect. Okay. Lower yourself down so I can pet you. If we both really trust each other, then the cure should work. Oh no, I have to pet a bug. Actually, if this gets him to turn back to normal, I don't care. Frick this. As I ask the huge roach curse for him to lower himself, he follows my request. He bends his insect. He bends an insect-like legs and carefully lowers himself down, his enormous body towering closer to you, allowing you to reach him more easily. I start petting the giant roach, hoping that the cure will work. Come on. Come on. As I begin to pet the enormous roach, the Chronos insectoid eyes watch me intently. The feeling of trust and care flowing through both of you. He remains still, allowing me to rub his insectoid form, hoping for the cure to be lifted through the acts of trust and care. For a few moments, nothing seems to happen, but then there's a soft glow that begins to emerge from the crocodile's body, starting at the spot you're rubbing. It actually worked, and I did not influence that. So the cure was literally just to give him an antidote, and then he has to trust me. We both had to trust each other, and flipping like it'll apparently work if he let me pet him, and it worked. I think it's working, buddy. Maybe he'll be a normal crocodile. I hope he... The giant roach form of the crocodile continues to watch as you pet him. His insectoid eyes fixate on you and the strange glow starting to get brighter. A feeling of hope and anticipation fills him, and he lets out a low insect-like noise as if signaling acknowledgement that it's working. After a few minutes, the light fades, and I see the Pokemon. Looking back to normal. It actually worked. As the light begins to fade, the huge bug form of the crocodile slowly shrinks and fades, finally return to the familiar crocodile form. There we go. The crocodile looks up at me, his eyes filled with a mixture of relief and happiness as he regains his normal Pokemon appearance. He moves closer to me, his expressions conveying a sense of gratefulness and trust. Can you speak now? Come on, speak, please. Is he... The now normal crocodile looks at me and nods gently, a sense of normalcy returning to him. He responds to your question in his original, somewhat gruff, and... Why is he still speaking like a snake? Oh, that's creepy. Oh, but who bet something went wrong? Yes, can speak again. Why does he still sound like that flippin'? He still says it. Why are you still making the hissing sound? I hope nothing went wrong with your voice. It sounds normal, but you sound more like a snake. Oh, hey. The colonel listens carefully to my comment about his voice and notices the hissing sound he's making. He's somewhat embarrassed to realize that he's been making that sound unintentionally. He nods as he listens to me mention that his voice sounds normal, but he replies in an apologetic tone. Oh, he spoke normally that time. Yeah, the hissing. I don't know why it's like that. Maybe it's still adjusting from the curse? You just spoke normally there. So maybe that means everything is going back to normal. Dang it, Parlor wants to go on to the... Oh, man. The Cron nods again in response, a hint of relief setting in as you point out that he spoke normally. He lets out a small chuckle, his usually youthful and carefree personality begin to shine through once again. He replies, yeah, maybe you're right. I guess everything is slowly getting back to normal. But the hissing thing is weird, right? I really don't care at this point. I'm just glad that I get to see you as a normal Pokemon and not some scary gigantic bug. I wonder if it can transform though. Like that's one thing that worked with Rexy before. I might try that real, see if he'll actually do it. The Chrono looks at you with a mixture of relief and gratitude, his eyes conveying his happiness at being back to his normal form. And my words about being glad that he's not some scary gigantic bug anymore, a wry little smirk appears on his face, pausing his youthful, slightly rugged voice. Yeah, I wasn't exactly enjoying the giant bug look either. I prefer being a normal water Pokemon instead of some colossal roach. Thank gosh. See if you can transform into other things that's not bug related. Like an ice dragon or something. The Chrono listens to my request as will you get off my screen, dadgummit? You're really starting to hiss me off. The Chrono listens to my request as I was showing a hint of curiosity and a willingness to try something different. He nods at me. He nods as you tell him to transform into something that's not related to bugs like an ice dragon. He closes his eyes for a moment, concentrating his energy and focusing on the image of an ice dragon in his mind. As he concentrates, his body begins to change again, but this time, instead of a bug, he transforms into an icy blue and white dragon form, resembling an ice-themed Dragonite. Okay, so I guess it's mainly Pokemon related. I guess it can only be Pokemon. It worked. And you're not a bug. The Ice Dragon form Crocodile looks at me, the transformation successful and no longer resembling a bug at all. He nods, confirming your observation. Yeah, it worked. Not a bug anymore. He smiles gently, feeling relieved and somewhat proud that he was able to transform into the Ice Dragon with no problems. But it only does seem to work with Pokemon. Period. You turned into a Dragonite instead of the mythical creature. The Ice Dragon form Crawdad nods again at my observation. He lets out a soft chuckle and replies, yeah, looks like the curse is still a little bit picky with what I turn into. Can only transform into other Pokemon and not mythical creatures. But at least it's not bugs anymore. Yeah, thank gosh. I'm glad. The Ice Dragon form Chronon gives you a nod with a hint of a smile, expressing his relief at being free from the bug transformations. He moves closer to me, his dragon-like eyes watching me calmly. The playful and somewhat carefree nature of the young water Pokemon seems to return as he speaks again with a touch of his usual wit. Yeah, glad to go back to normal. At least the Ice Dragon form is cool. Right? Did he say cool to make a pun? Yes, it's really cool. The Ice Dragon form Chrono grins upon hearing your words, clearly pleased that you find his Ice Dragon form cool. He puffs out his chest slightly, feeling a bit proud, and responds in a half-joking tone. I know, right? I look pretty awesome as an Ice Dragon, don't I? Way better than some big bug. Speaking of big, see if you can change your size. And become a lot bigger. Ice Dragon Chrono listens to my mention about changing size, and a hint of curiosity and playfulness sparks in his eyes. He nods in response to my statement, confirming that he can indeed change his size. Yeah, I can change my size. I can get bigger if I want. He smiles and raises an eyebrow, a spark of a playful challenge in his eyes. How big do you want me to be? Big enough to fill a room? Or maybe bigger? I wonder if there's a limit. Try making yourself 30 feet tall and see what happens. The ice dragon form crawling on glint excitement at the suggestion. He grins coolly and intrigued by the idea of becoming, yep. With a playful smirk, he begins to concentrate and draws on his power to, get bigger. As he uses energy to become bigger, the icy blue and white body grows in a sense, towering over you as it swells to a colossal size, now standing at a towering 30 feet. It worked alright. The now 30-foot tall ice dragon form crocodile looks down at me, his eyes filled with both wonder and playful arrogance. He laughs, expressing his joy at the success of getting so big. Yep, it worked. Look at me now. He raises one of his massive ice dragon-like arms and swings it around, clearly enjoying his new imposing size and display of power. Oh, frick, it's been 51 minutes. Dadgummit. Dadgummit.